I want to talk about goals, and I'm hoping somebody will unmute themselves and share with us what are some of your goals.
Yeah. I have a personal goal that is divided into or split into. The first one of them being as smart as possible, landing 25 new deals in terms of insurance.
Okay.
In other words, gaining 25 new clients with a minimum investment plan of that's $10,000 a year.
Okay, so and that's over the course of next year. You want to land 25 new clients with a minimum investment of each of those clients of $25,000. Yes?
That is correct.
Okay, why did you pick the $25,000 minimum?
That is by summing up the minimum investment that each one of them would do individually. Mexico, one of the top or standard numbers for investment in terms of savings, educational plans, or insurance overall is of around $1,000 a year. Translating more or less to 200,000 pesos, give or take. So not to get pushy, but at least to get, after having curated all the information for them, I would say that my standard client would land that minimum amount before I do any upsell, hence the 25,000.
Okay. The reason why I ask is as we're tuning up our goals, and I'd like to play around with this goal for you, okay? Instead of having a goal of, I want to land 25 clients at a minimum of 25,000, there's actually two goals there. We want 25 clients, and we want a minimum of 625K, if I did my math correctly, of investment, because I just did 25 times 25,000, right? Because you might get one client that's 500 grand, and that would be great, and we want to get credit for that. So just start thinking in terms of that. You can break that down. Dollars, amount of clients. There's more than one goal in that statement. Now, in that statement, we want to do that for the year. We want to also break that down by month, right? So, and I'd like to add some additional to that. Like if it was me and I was setting this goal, I would have that top line goal. I want to do 25 clients. I want to get 625,000 or whatever that is in annual revenue. And then I want to add 3 clients a month. Now, if we added up 3 clients a month, that's 36 clients, right? But when you start to unpack by month, because here's the problem that ends up happening, and everybody sets goals at the beginning of the year, and we'll set some monster goal of I want 25 clients, each with a minimum of 25,000, and then the next thing you know, June rolls around, and you're way far away from that deal, and there's nothing to keep you going, right? It's like if your goal was to win the Super Bowl, and you're 4 wins, 6 losses halfway through the season, it's hard to motivate people. So we need things that are going to keep you going every month. So I would also set another goal of 3 deals a month, because every month that's going to reset itself. And then for those 3 deals a month, Alex, what I'd like you to do is spend a few minutes and unpack, okay, how many phone calls do I need to make? Do you have any idea off the top of your head, like how many prospecting calls you would need to make on average, and you can just guess at this, to close one deal? How many calls do you think you would need to make prospecting, like cold calls, to close one deal?
Top of mind, 45 calls per day.
Okay, so we're going to start with 45 to close one deal. So if you need to make 45 calls to close one deal, you now can back into that of, okay, well, 45 calls equal one deal. That's a pretty low number, because you would only need to make 135, and you should close 3 deals in a month. So play around with that number, but you said per day. So if it took 45 calls a day to close one deal, you're going to need to make 135 calls a day to close 3 deals, right? But do you see how at least now you know? And it may be, you may be getting up a little bit earlier until you figure this system out. But at least if you know, hey, I got to make 135 calls, which is why with my goal sheets, I put that vision board right at the top, the big thing I'm working on, the car I want to buy, the watch. Now I'm really into, I talked with Chad offline about this. I'm really into getting a condo in Miami. Rolf is like, dude, not Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
Rolf's like, I'll sell you my place. But I really want a place in Florida. That's what I'm working on. But I said to myself, man, I'm going to have to start getting up at 4:30, right? Because the amount of money that I need for this place that I want to get, it's going to require me to really step it up. But at least now I know. So, my math could be way off here, but if you know that 45 calls a day will get you to 1 deal a month, I would go, okay, I know 135 calls should get me to 3 deals a month. I know 3 deals a month is going to get me to 36 deals total, and I know that I'm going to hit my 25. I'm going to probably hit, just based on the law of averages, like you said, my minimum 25,000, right? There may be a couple 5,000 in there, but there might be a couple 50,000. This is what I'm talking. This is a perfect example, Alex, of setting goals. But what I want you to do as your coach, what I'm going to ask you to do as your coach, because you're paying money for me to push you, I want to push you a little bit harder, and instead of having this blanket goal of I want to win the Super Bowl, now it's, hey, I'm going to win 3 of every 5 games, right? I'm going to do 3-step drop drills every morning. So you know, hey, I need to make 135 calls. Now, that we could keep going with this and say, okay, well, how many proposals are you going to have to send in order to close 1 deal? Maybe it's, I don't know, how many do you think it is, Alex? How many proposals would you think you'd have to send out to close 1 deal? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 10?
Usually around 6, usually.
Okay, so we know we need to send 18 proposals a month. And we know how many working days are in a month, 20? So you almost have to be sending a proposal every day. And that might depress you, but that's where I want you to flip the script on your mentality. That doesn't depress me. And that's something that I've always been different about than other people that have worked in sales, is they're like, I don't even want to know that. I could never do that, man. And it's like, bro, we're not attempting space travel here. We're trying to crack the code on you sending out a proposal just about every day. But if you can go, holy cow, wait a minute, time out. If I can simply send 1 proposal out every day, that's going to be 20 proposals a month. That means I'm going to probably close 3.4 deals per month if I'm sending 20 proposals. And then if we go back to like what I was just talking about with Jason, and you're organizing your day and following up with proposals, cold calls, I think you could really hit this. So if I was you, like this evening, I would sit down with a nice beer, a glass of wine or soda or bottle of water, whatever your jam is, and I would go, how the hell could I send 1 proposal a day? And sit and ruminate on that, and ideas are going to start popping to you, right? Maybe I need to start doing posts on LinkedIn, right? Maybe I need to speak at an event. Maybe I need to get a TikTok account, or maybe I need to make a YouTube video, or maybe I just need to make 135 calls a day, which I'm just going to tell you right now. You want to take a guess on how long it would take you to make 135 calls in a day? I can tell you the exact number.
I'll let you say, depending on the length of the call, but 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah, I would say 3 hours, 45 minutes is you're solid. That leaves you, do you work at home or do you work in an office? Or do you work by yourself in an office?
Usually by myself.
Okay, perfect. You're by yourself. So 3 hours, let's round it up to 4 hours of calling, which leaves you another solid 5 hours to do other stuff. This goal is well within your reach, right? But instead of having an annual goal of 25 clients, let's break this down. And here's the other thing that I really like about breaking this down, Alex, just for your motivation. And I believe Rolf and I talked about this one time offline, right? The goal of landing 25 clients, that's for the most part, it's in your control, but some things have to happen that are not in your control. The client has to agree to buy. And you can be as skillful as possible. Sometimes they don't sign the deal. But sending out a quote is totally within your control. Making a phone call, sending out a quote, let's call it 95% in your control. Maybe they're like, don't send me anything, right? We're closing the deals about 50% in your control, 50% in their control. Making a phone call is 100% in your control. So if you can just create a process and break your goal down into all of the steps that will help you achieve the outcome, you can stop worrying about the outcome so much and then focus on the process. Trust the process. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to win a football game, but I know if I lift weights for an hour every day, I'm going to be stronger. I know if I eat clean food every day, I'm going to be healthier. I know if I watch film for an hour every day, I'm going to have seen every offensive play that the Jacksonville Jaguars have run in the last 3 seasons. All of that stuff is going to lead to me having a much higher propensity of closing that deal. So let's focus less on the outcome and more on the steps that I need to take, which sounds like exactly where Jason's head's at as well. Focus on the process, trust the process. But look at all of that information that I just wrote down. Like, I want you to reverse engineer your goals. Does that make sense?
Total sense. I even did some steps and try to break it down myself and align to your goals of the new Miami apartment. I'm thinking about, just baby steps, maybe a new Nissan Kicks, something that really is just an outcome. But at the end of the day, for my daughter and I, it's like this will be a means to get to that point. So I appreciate the input on that.
For sure. And I'm telling you, whatever goal you set for yourself, you'll be able to hit it, right? And here's the other cool thing. If you're working the process, you can go to bed every night going, man, you know what? I didn't close a deal today. I didn't get a contract out, but damn it, I did not leave until I made $135. I feel good about myself. And that's the killer. That's what kills everybody in sales, is they're all, hey man, I want to be 116% of plan for the year. And everybody says that right about now. And then 4 months goes by and they're 7%. And Roth's their manager and has them on a PIP, a performance improvement plan, and all their motivation goes out of the water and is replaced with, well, I want to keep my job, right? That keeping your job, not getting fired, doesn't motivate anybody. But if you're like, man, I know what my numbers have to be, and then you can be dead honest with yourself. Man, I made 14 calls today. Was supposed to make 135. That's on me. I own that, right? I'm going to shut the light off. I'm going to close the laptop lid, and today was unacceptable, right? When you can be your own manager, there's nothing your manager, your vice president, your CEO can tell you that's going to motivate you more than you've motivated yourself, right? Once you know that, and by the way, it's not micromanagement. That is the most liberating, freeing feeling in the world. Nothing feels more free than you knowing, man, if I just do these 18 things every day, make 135 calls, check up on everybody that's had a quote, people that have been sent a quote, I'm going to call them 7 days from now. When you can just go, man, here's the stuff I need to do, you're free. Because you know if you do that stuff, the numbers will work themselves out. And if you do that stuff for 3 months or 6 months and nothing's working it out, come back and talk to me and we'll figure out where the disconnect is in your plan. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Totally.
One last point, not to preach at you, but we talked about vision boards. We talked about the goal sheet. And again, you can go to Easton University. You guys, you have access to it in the portal. You can do it right from the homepage. Anybody can download it. It's Easton University /goals. You'll get the template for that daily goal sheet, which is where you could put send a quote every day, all of that stuff in there. Don't put, you had mentioned your daughter, okay? There was a time when I was a single dad and I had a daughter. It was just my daughter and I together. Don't put a picture of your daughter on that vision board. And I'm not saying that to be heartless. I'm saying that because Alex, your daughter is going to love you whether you hit these goals or not. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. When they're trying to motivate themselves, they'll put pictures of their family. They'll put pictures of their pet. They'll put pictures of their kids. Okay? There's a difference between inspiration and motivation. If I see a picture of my family, that inspires me. That gets my juices flowing, right? But I don't want to disappoint my family. That's the only way that might motivate me is, my family will hate me. But I know my family well enough where we could live in a trailer park and they'll be like, Dad, you did your best. I don't have a problem with that, right? So me putting pictures of my family doesn't motivate me. Like, I'm going to put a picture of the condo I don't have. Now, maybe you want your daughter to be able to go to an Ivy League school. So put pictures of the logos of Harvard, Brown, all the overpriced Ivy League schools. I'm okay with that. I would like whatever that picture is to be something that you could get within the next, call it 12 to 24 months. Even if you're like, I'm 2 years out, that's okay. Put that on there because you're going to be shocked at how fast you'll be able to achieve it. And you'll be like, dude, I'm way ahead of schedule. Cool. Great. Bought that car, put that money in an account for my daughter or whatever it was. But make sure on your vision board, the thing that you're looking at every day when you're getting your butt kicked is something that you don't already have, and it's not something as guaranteed as your daughter's love. Because I'm just going to be honest, whether she tells you or not, Alex, your daughter loves you. You're her daddy forever, right? So that's not your inspiration, right? Your inspiration has to be, your motivation has to be something you don't already have, if that makes sense. Sales reps, managers, business owners, entrepreneurs, what I'm about to tell you, this is gonna hurt, but trust me, it will be well worth it. I want you to think back to that excitement you had when you first got started. Maybe it was your first day. You thought about all of the lives that you were gonna change with your amazing product, your business, your service, your solutions. And hey, let's be honest here, you were gonna make a lot of money in the process of helping people, helping businesses change their lives. But it didn't work out exactly that way, did it? If you're anything like me, if you're anything like most people in sales, you found it was just a little bit more difficult to close those deals than you thought, or maybe you're struggling right now. Now, I warned you, this is the part that's gonna hurt, but in order for this to work, you and I need to be honest with each other. I want you to think about all the reasons that you're not hitting your targets, all the reasons you're not making the sales that you had anticipated making. Is it the economy, your competition, your territory, your pricing? Maybe it's your manager, your product, your service, your solution. Here's the part that's gonna hurt. There's a 94% chance it is none of those, and it's time you face reality. The reason why you have to work so hard just to close a single deal has nothing to do with the economy, nothing to do with your competition, your territory, your manager, your product, your price, your service. The reason why it's so hard for you is you simply haven't learned a better sales process. But wait, you've had sales training from your company. Yeah, I did too. You've read some sales books. I read just about every single one of them. Or maybe you're saying to yourself, well, I was always born a salesperson. Nobody is born knowing how to sell more than they're born knowing how to speak Cantonese or fly an F-22 fighter jet. And by the way, the right sales process is a lot easier to learn than a language or flying an airplane, but you still have to learn it. My name is Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Easton University, and if you'll let me coach you, I can show you how to sell more than you've ever imagined without being pushy, without being manipulative, without following some super complex system where you spend more time trying to figure out what stage your deal is in than actually closing deals. If you will let me coach you, you will never, ever, ever, ever find yourself blaming the economy, your products, your price, your manager, your territory, your competition again, because you're going to be in total control of the sales process and the outcomes. I've devoted my life to unlocking the perfect sales process, and I want to coach you the same way I've helped thousands of other people in the exact same position that you are right now sell a reported $3.47 billion, yeah, that's billion with a B, over the last 12 months. I've been where you're at right now. I know how to help you. I can show you in just a matter of minutes what will take you years of trial and error to learn on your own. Now, if you've made it this far, but you're saying to yourself, it can't be that simple, just trying a new sales process alone will not get me to where I want to go. I know exactly what you're feeling. I said those exact same things, and I was wrong. Having the right sales process changed absolutely everything for me. So I want you to do me and yourself this favor and spend just a minute or two over at eastonuniversity.com checking out what we've built. Now, if you spend a couple minutes and you decide that our coaching can't help you, it can't help you change everything about your career, everything about your life, no harm, no foul. You can continue to do things the way you're doing them right now. But just imagine, what if you head over to eastonuniversity.com right now and it connects with you? What if it is that simple? Suddenly everything starts to make sense and everything changes for you. Your career, your income, your goals, your company. You start heading in the direction you always thought you could. Isn't it worth taking a couple minutes and seeing if that might be the case? Easton University is more than a platform. It's more than live coaching with me. It's your future, and you and your future are worth it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you and I have met each other, and I look forward to seeing you over at eastonuniversity.com right now.